What is going on, world? You guys know what time it is. One Piece chapter 1084 is out. This chapter is called The Attempted Murder of a Celestial Dragon. Let's go. This chapter was incredibly hype just for the lore building in and of itself. It was one of the intense chapters. We've got a lot of reveals in this chapter. I'm going to start off with the least hype thing for me. And to be honest, it was Sai and Leo attacking the Celestial Dragon. As cool as that was, you know, they massacred my boy. I just thought that, you know, we already saw like the Celestial Dragon get attacked. Charlos has a glutton for punishment. The real big thing I like from this chapter comes from Misogard. I find that this character is so trying to come back from his past aggressions, and he's trying to be this better person. And I really like that message of him like seeing the error of his ways. I feel like he's going to be such an important character moving forward, or a character that something really bad happens to, just because we've seen this character, I feel like, enough to feel like this character is one of the good ones. I see this character as someone like Sabo, but on the Celestial Dragon side. And I hope that, to be honest, we see some more good Celestial Dragons or cool Celestial Dragons. The next big thing is we see Kuma getting, captured by Morley. That means that Morley got away from Green Bull. That means Green Bull's out there, taking an L somewhere. I don't know what Green Bull's doing, but Morley got away. That's actually pretty funny to me. Then we can see that this is like one of the bigger parts of the chapter, but Sabo met Bonnie, and then they overheard something about, the Phantom Room, and that piqued Sabo's interest. And then Sabo tells Bonnie, to go this way. And, it seems like Bonnie's leaving. But I wonder if Bonnie actually leaves, or if she goes and follows Sabo still. I feel like Bonnie hasn't really learned enough. Or she even thinks that maybe the point of her going in was to see, a part of Mary Joa, so that she can have this information to tell somebody else, like the Straw Hats, where she has been there before, so she knows how to get through it. Something like that. But it just was interesting to me that it didn't seem like she really did much. She showed up and then was overheard a conversation and then was sent off, So it is that. Also, we learned that Bonnie was keeping tabs on the Revolutionary Army. So I wonder what else she knows about the Revolutionary Army, their plans or whatever. Just a random aside, I really want to see Koala meeting Jinbei. I feel like that is just something that's going to be so cute. So I really want to see that. And then the biggest part of the chapter, Cobra's confrontation of the Gorosei. He basically walks up to them. He's like, yo, what happened to my auntie Lili? Because she was supposed to be showing up, but she never did. Now, basically what this also means is, technically, although the line is the same family line of, the Nefertari family, the line, like, this person descends from Lily's brother, not actually Lily for herself. So, to me, before I even get into this, I just want to say, all the questions that Cobra was asking were pretty pertinent. And he asked about the meaning of the D, and he mentions a letter that Lily left behind about the D family. I feel like all of these things are super imperative to the story of One Piece. Now, what do we know about the Nefertari family? So the Nefertari family was tasked with protecting a poneglyph. So when you think about the story of Lily, I feel like she can't be Emu, because the people who protected the poneglyphs were people who were trying to bring about the end of the world. So it seems kind of like counterintuitive. Now, the only one play that I feel like we can get, it could be one of those situations where it's like, Lily is actually setting up the end of the world, or the end game of the story, and this is all a part of her plan. She's making it hard for people to get the poneglyphs, and anyone who actually can get the poneglyphs is actually the chosen one, and this was all a part of her plan all along. This is, in my opinion, the worst option. I really don't want to see Lili as an evil but not evil being. What I'd prefer is if Emu and Lili were separate people. If Lili was somebody who opposed the world government, and instead of going home, she decided to send a message home. And what I really think about is Vivi's message to the Straw Hats. You know, she says that she wanted to go with the Straw Hats so bad, but she loves her city. But what I think is Lili had the same message too, where she loves her city so much, but she wanted to become a pirate with her friends, and she wanted to protect the world, and the world government wasn't, they weren't, the Celestial Dragons, their plan wasn't to protect the world. They had their own self-interest, and they were going to go and do what they wanted to do no matter what. And so Lili teams up with Joyboy, and they all go out of their way to protect everybody. And obviously we know that it doesn't work out for them, but Lili never makes it home, and basically her name is erased from history. Another thing that I noticed is that they mention the word history and light, both Vivi in her speech at the end of Alabasta Arc, and the Gorosei to Emu. They say, which light would you want us to erase from history? And then Vivi says something along the lines of, we always move towards the light, and historians will say it's not true. So basically, they'll lie about history again. It seems like Oda had this whole plan about Vivi being, related to Lili in some way. Even their names, it's not even spelled Lily, Lili. It felt like such an obvious turn. As an obvious connection. Now, we also saw Emu with that picture of Vivi looking at it longingly. So if Emu was from the Void Century, did do something to Lili, you could see that maybe Emu looks at Lili and says, wow, you remind me of her, I feel like one of the biggest things you can draw from this chapter is that Lili had some connection to do with both Joyboy, Zunisha, and now lastly, the one thing I want to mention is just Joyboy's crew. Now, I feel like at this point, we've beat around the bush a little long enough, but we're at a point where I feel like we can speculate the members of Joyboy's crew just based off of, Luffy's crew, the cycle of reincarnation that we've seen through people like Shirahoshi, Joyboy returning. And so one thing I will say is, I feel like we had 2 Wano members. We do know that whoever was Momonosuke's descendant could have been, whoever was Momonosuke's ancestor could have been someone related to the stonemasons. I don't know if they're necessarily a king, but this ancestor had a relation with Joyboy. Yeah, so what we do know about, the last thing I want to talk about is Joyboy's crew. So we do know that Joyboy has a crew. It consists of Zunisha. Zunisha was given this order to walk around the earth. But who else could have been mentioned in Joyboy's crew? We do know about the cycle of reincarnation. We've seen that through Shirahoshi, her being Poseidon, and Poseidon being, born every certain generation or so. And then what we can also ask about is Momo and this power to control Zunisha. So does Momo's power come like a generational power just like Shirahoshi? Does that mean that there was somebody in the Void Century? Well, there had to have been somebody in the Void Century who could have given Zunisha orders as well. That person could have also been Momonosuke. We do know that Momonosuke, the ancestor. We know that Momonosuke's family comes from a line of stonemasons, so we can also use that to assume that Momonosuke's family created all the poneglyphs, right? We basically know that. So then, who else could have been part of this crew? People like Wiper's ancestors, people who defended the poneglyphs, could have also been part of this crew. So we know that, you know, those Shandorians, there had to be a Shandorian in the crew. And then going back even further, think of the Nefertari family. We know that Lili, we could assume at this point that Lili and Lili's brother had some type of relation to Joy Boy. At what point did, after, you know, the forming of the celestial dragons, did Lili get a poneglyph to Alabasta if she never returned home? How did that poneglyph get there? These are the questions that I feel like need to be answered. Could it be somebody like a mink, like Carrot, who or Carrot's ancestor, some old mink? How could they have ended up with Joy Boy as well? What were the minks' role in history? I know that we've seen, like, oh, they've been protecting this place on Zunisha for hundreds of years, but we don't really know what their history looked like in the world of One Piece. So, yeah, so these are all the questions that I feel like have been left for us to answer in these coming days. The last question I feel like needs to be answered is, how is Blackbeard tied into this situation? We know we saw the posters getting ripped up of Shirahoshi, of Luffy, of Blackbeard, and then holding the Vivi poster. I'm just curious as to what their relation is. Was Blackbeard somebody who could be Joy Boy, or is Blackbeard somebody who was on, like, reincarnated from somebody who was on the ship with Joy Boy? Any type of relation mirrors that way? I wonder what that relation is, and how Rocks could be related to this situation as well, because not only was Vivi erased from history, Rocks was also erased from history. These are people who nobody really knows anything about. Now, the sun god Nika, also erased from history, and then you could even argue Joy Boy was erased from history too, considering how important he was. But on the poneglyphs, you know, these characters live forever, so I'm just curious as to how and when we'll get this information. I feel like, unfortunately, we have a break next week, but I feel like the next chapter, it can't leave this situation. We need answers. We need answers badly. So please, Oda, don't leave us high and dry. Well, thank you all for watching this video. I really appreciate you all watching, just hearing my thoughts. I feel like, you know, the revelation of Joy Boy's crew will be coming soon. This was a flashback that I honestly didn't expect to get so far. And we have to keep going considering Saba's telling this story. But sooner or later, maybe around 1087, it feels like 1086, 1087, we probably will get back to some Straw Hat action. Maybe 1 or 2 more chapters of this Mary Joa madness. But yeah, these chapters have been mad things since 1079. So always good, always blessed. So thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you guys next week.